Two pieces by Jacob Weinberg, the Maypole and Canzonetta, arranged for orchestra by Simeon Bellison and played by David Krakauer, with the Berlin Radio Symphony Orchestra conducted by Gerard Schwartz, a Milken archive recording on the Naxos label. This program of music inspired by 19th century klezmer sounds will conclude with incidental music for a play based on a story by Isaac Bashevis Singer. Gerard Schwartz asked Neil Levin about the composer of this score.
Yehudi Weiner wrote some wonderful music inspired by literature. What do you think Yehudi Weiner's relationship to Yiddish literature or even more popular musical forms is?
Well, Yehudi Weiner was never really interested in the more popular forms. I think he would second that. His upbringing in terms of Yiddish literature concerned the Hochliteratur, the high literature, the most sophisticated, whether it be prose or poetry. Because his father, Lazar Weiner, was the supreme avatar of Yiddish art song on the highest level, and Yiddish cantatas and other musical settings of the most profound levels of Yiddish poetry. Yehudi, in many ways, is a more general composer. I mean, not all of his works are Judaically related, whereas virtually all of his father's works are Judaic in substance. He is, first and foremost, an American composer who is heavily rooted in Jewish tradition in many ways. His interest, therefore, in writing incidental music to a play by Isaac Bashevis Singer is understandable. What Yehudi does is essentially compose freely and then occasionally bring in musical substance of folk tradition, but in a very sophisticated way. And it's usually there for a moment or two, and then he leaves it. He's not an arranger of folk music. He's an original American composer, and even when he brings those elements in, they're brought in a very subtle way.
Here is that music played by Richard Stoltzman, clarinetist, Daniel Stepner, violinist, and Robert Schultz, percussionist. The singers are Carol Meyer, soprano, Judy Brown-Kirchner, mezzo-soprano, Matthew Kirchner, tenor, Richard Lally, baritone, and James Gutman, bass. This is incidental music by Yehudi Weiner for the play The Mirror, adapted from a story by Isaac Bashevis Singer.